Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with some analysis and what to expect this up and coming season of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They was the number one team in the Western Conference last year in the regular season, and they had a decent playoff run last year too. And now we're focused on what they can do this year with some additions to their team and some subtractions. They added Alex Caruso in free agency in a trade with the Chicago Bulls, and he's 30 years old. He's a guy that can give them some energy, some great defense, and he can give them some shot capabilities. He can hit the spot up three. He can get out in transition. He can create off the ball just a little bit. And this was a major move for them, probably the biggest move that they made in the offseason. And he also got some point guard abilities, being able to facilitate and set guys up. Very patient player, can run the offense, understands what he needs to do, and understands what he should be doing on the court. And that's what you really want in a veteran. Lucas Dort finally get a backcourt mate that can help him defensively, and I think that that's something that's good and something that I'm gonna like seeing two guys that's great at defense play as hard as they can and do the best they can and still be able to score offensively by playing off the ball and also turning their defense to offense, getting steals, playing in the passing lanes, getting layups and dunks in transition or semi transition should be the goal primarily for those two on the perimeter. And then you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He might be playing some small forward a little bit more this year. He is 6'6", 195, so he can still score. He can use his speed and quickness and shiftiness to be able to put the ball in the basket. That's something that he always been able to do for the most part. He just got better at it and stronger at it. And he also is a solid free throw shooter, so I can see him using that to his advantage like he usually does. He just a guy that understands how to use his body, understands how to control the ball and control what the defense is trying to do to him and bend it so that way he can get a full advantage, and he uses it to set up his teammates for easy shot attempts too. You can also look at Chet Holmgren as a guy that is going to get a lot of benefits from this, as you can just live the ball up to Chet. He can dunk, you can drop it off to him, he can finish. He's so quick, so fast off the ground that he's tough to guard because of that. And he's just so long and so tall that he can just tower over you even defensively, covering space, helping out his teammates, blocking off the paint, so it forces you to take a perimeter shot. It's tough to score on this team, and now it got even tougher because they just continue to add the type of players that you need to defend and still score. Two-way players has always been the goal to have. They've been able to put themselves in a position to where they can get those type of guys even in the draft. Isaiah Joe is coming back. He's going to be a guy that's going to give them some strength at that guard position. I think that he's sturdy, he's smart, and he's a guy that needs a little bit more offensive upside, but that's the purpose of developing him. I think he's a solid player. Dylan Jones is the same. He's 6'6". He's going to play some forward, give them some athleticism, give them a guy that gives some guys some breaks offensively and defensively on this team. And that's what every team needs, so you can be fully rested and healthy for the postseason. Then we look at Carson Wallace. This is a guy that can also probably add some perimeter scoring on this team, and he showed some flashes in summer league that he can be a decent player for them. Aaron Wiggins has showed some type of improvement. We just need to see if he can actually be a guy that can be a 3 and D guy, or a guy that can, add a little scoring off the dribble. That's still to be seen. Jalen Williams has been exceptional as a scorer. He really started developing into that second option as a scorer. His ability to handle the ball, create off the dribble, get to the paint, finish strong, hit a mid-range off the dime, and be able to play off the ball and hit a three or even score threes off the dribble. That's something that he only got better at because he got more opportunity and more playing time. This is a guy that really changed how this team played, just like a healthy Chet, just because he's a guy that really helps Shea out offensively and having him and Caruso and Shea all at this time on the court at the same time, it's just gonna be a havoc to really stop. It's gonna be a lot of chaos going on trying to hold this team offensively while still knowing that they can hold you to low possessions defensively and they can turn their offense into defense. And then Jalen Williams, the other one, he's 6'9". He got the height, he got the length, he got the size, he got the quickness. He's just a project that can really be something special in the future for this team. And for him to continue to develop, he's only 22, is his goal, and we want to see more out of him. You're going to have to need at least 8 to 9 men to be a legit team in the NBA. And I feel like they got 9 bodies that has questions on them, but at least they have them, and it's up to them to mold them into what they need to be as great players. And they have done that with Jalen Williams. They've done that with Chet Fetch Holmgren. They have done that with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Alex Caruso is already pre-made. Dort turned into a guy that can be a brute defensive guy and a guy that can make shots. And he was developed by OKC too. And then Kendrick Williams is another guy, 29 years old, 6'6", out of TCU. He's just another guy that understands that he might not play as much, but as long as he can contribute to the game and be that next man up mentality, or if somebody goes down, be the ninth or the 10th man that can come in and produce baskets and great play. That's all they really need him to be and do for the most part. But when you look at this team, they have the speed, they have the quickness, they have the athleticism, they have the scoring prowess, they have everything in the understanding of how to value each possession. Is always something tough to teach young teams because they be so giddy to be able to score and be able to show off their talent and be able to show what they can do. And they a little bit more glowy when it comes to personality. And you can see it in Jalen Williams. He's very confident. Same with Shea. And they play with that. And I feel like that's what helped them be the #1 team in the Western Conference last year, which nobody seen. And you have to give them a lot of credit for being able to dominate, majority of their competition and show that we only needed that one piece. Now we need that big four and that fifth guy to be, a solidifier in a starting lineup. And I feel like Caruso can be that guy. And I just want to see the evolution of Chet Fetch Holmgren. Can he be a guy that can finish at the rim and hit a three? He showed that he can be a average 3-point shooter and a solid finisher. But I want to see how much better do we get. Is he a 20-10 guy in year 2? Is he a 25-point scorer? Is he going to be a team-point scorer? Because they still do need somebody that can get buckets at a higher level if they want to be the best team in the entire NBA over a team like the Boston Celtics, which we still have to see. And I feel like it's very interesting to see how far this team can go with a team built this way, where you can't really get a consistency out of their role players like they would like. And you have to rely so much on Shea and Chet and Jalen Williams to do the bulk of the scoring and the bulk of the defense outside of Luguentz Dort and Alex Caruso. So I know what Dort capable of. I know what Caruso is capable of, but they still do need to hit a higher level offensively to be able to get over that hump of the Dallas Mavericks and all those other teams in the Western Conference, because they match up well still against a team like OKC. There's no team that's blowing me out mind-wise in the Western Conference. I just see a lot of teams on similar levels and a lot of teams that match up the same now because of the trades. They on the same level or they close. So it's going to be a lot of 6-game, 7-game series where somebody on the other side of the court, which is the other players that's not superstars like Shea, step up and help this team get to the next level. And they wasn't that far away from beating the Mavericks. Obviously, they didn't get it done, but the Mavericks are a team that got better too. The Pelicans got better too. The Kings got better too. The Lakers, they figuring stuff out, so they still a little bit better because LeBron is always going to be a tough out. And the Warriors, Steph Curry's going to be a tough out. And this is something that they know. This is something they have to be prepared for. But Minnesota, that's going to be a tough out. It's no gimme series in the Western Conference, even if you're the #1 seed. And we seen them do that last year where you can't really risk any injury. You can't really risk anything because they just don't have the depth. And they still have that question mark. Can they be 8 to 9 to 10 deep on guys that can be reliable and consistent offensively, and that's something that we have to see ultimately. And that will be the question: is they bench good enough? Is they stars and Jalen Williams, Chet, and Shea Gilgeous great enough to get this team to the conference finals and get them to the NBA finals, even though they play real well in the regular season, which we have seen before, especially when all three of those guys are healthy. Who's going to be that guy that can continue to push this team forward outside of Caruso, who was their major addition? I think it's going to have to be more to that, because these teams in the East and these teams in the West are getting stackeder and more talented, just like the Thunder, and that makes them in that same competition of who's the best. At least they in that conversation, but is they ahead of it, or are they at the bottom of it? I think we have to see, based off this season, how it goes. What I expect them to be one of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference. I will expect Shea to continue to be in the MVP conversation. I expect Chet Holmgren to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. I expect this team to be a 50-plus win team, and that's easy if they're healthy. That this team should be one of the teams that has a chance to win a championship. And that's the goal, is to be a contender. They done that. They got enough talent possibly on paper to do that. It just, can they do it against better teams when these role players have to step up and play their role and up their game to another level and be able to knock down shots and make plays even on the other side of the court, which is defense. I have to see it. They need to do it, and that's a question that we can't really knock them on, because they still developing. We know that they have done it last year. Now we just want them to take it to another level this year, and now we'll just wait and see. Other than that, the Thunder are a fun team to watch. They're a great team. They're a championship contender. Now we're going to see how far they can take this youth movement as the youngest team in the NBA and the youngest team to win the NBA playoff series last year, which is the record that they broke. Let's see if they can continue to build upon that and do better. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell for more analysis. If you're new to the channel, I have over 2,000 videos just like this, in breakdowns and tributes to the greatest players already on this channel. So check out the older videos on this channel. If you're new, if you're a guy or a fan that been on the channel for a while, I upload every day, so you probably missed a couple of videos. Make sure you go back and check the older videos on this channel to get some content that you might have missed, some entertainment that you might have missed, some classics that you might have missed already on this channel is already going to be there. Just check it out, check out the channel and see what you missed and catch up on it, and that can give you something entertaining to do. And continue to like. I need the likes. It makes this channel more popular, makes this channel more easy to search, more easier for other fans to get to know it, and that's what I need for this channel to continue to be up there in algorithm for YouTube. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.